If you got to pick one video game that you would live in for the rest of your life, what game would you pick and why? Farming Simulator 2015. It's basically how I live anyway. You're stuck in the year 2015. A dating sim. You are now in the Doki Doki Literature Club universe. Edit. Beware. This is actually a fantastic game you should play without knowing anything about. And there are now spoilers in the replies. KSP. Kerbal Space Program. With a budget like that, exploring the solar system is going to be a piece of cake. Losing a few astronauts also isn't that much of a problem anymore. If I die, it will at least be awesome. Proceeds to die because the game destroyed whatever you are in without simulating its destruction. Just play in easy mode. You'll respawn in a few hours. Elite Dangerous. I can fly a spaceship all day every day and make billions of credit doing it. Count me in. Definitely elite. That will give me time to slow boat my Corvette to Beagle. Is that expedition still going? Those two guys who made a YouTube series about exploring to Beagle then into the unknown. There's not too much beyond that point. Beagle Point is the farthest point reachable by a stock ship. Engineered ships can get a bit farther by about 300 light years. It's not possible to actually leave the galaxy. For now, you'll just have to satisfy yourself with the 400 billion star systems in the galaxy. #THAT'(s) not enough. I know. There's only 99% of the galaxy left to explore. Assuming Ganondorf is taken care of, I could live in Kokiri Forest. Edit. I'm also fine with Kakariko Village. Or maybe a nice little cabin on Lake Hylia. In my mind I was thinking of Ocarina of Time, but any of the other iterations is fine as well. The Sims. Basically life, but I'll motherload my way to the top. But every time you cook you face a grave danger. Well, unless you're doing it for the 10,000th time and have the best possible mood. That's okay. I'll just order pizza and garden until I read my way to level 10. You can just have free satiating snacks forever like sandwiches and cereal. That's what my sim is doing right now. I had him buy a restaurant, built it, and now he practically lives there. I even built him a little house in the back so he could have entertainment and a bed since he was bitching. But all he eats is ice cream and get brain freezes. Mass Effect. 100%. Space exploration. High technology. Biotics. A seri. What's not to love? Obviously I'd want to live either a lifetime before or sometime after the whole Reaper thing. Edit. Lots of people saying that living before the Reapers won't be good. Or if I was in the me universe, but before the Reapers, I'd still end up in that war since it's a fairly short time frame. That's why I also said, or sometime after. Keep in mind that humanity survives in the Milky Way and recovery progress was already being made. Not everyone jumped ship, as it were, to Andromeda. Also, since this is a hypothetical, I believe I reserve the right to end up in the circumstances of my choice for this universe transfer. Only if I was guaranteed to not live in poverty though. Think of how many people live and die in the gang-controlled slums of Omega or places like that. Middle to upper class family on the Citadel with the possibility of going out and traveling the galaxy? Yes, I'm me the duck up. We all wanna be Commander Shepard. But let's be honest. A lot of us would end up as Conrad Werner. Or worse. Corporal Jenkins. Conrad Werner? Pump your brakes, kid. That man's national treasure. Splatoon. Because it's just our world, but we can shapeshift and everyone is really competitive about paintball and talk to fish. I'm not sure I'd want to live in a world where water at best incapacitates you for you /5 seconds on contact and at worst kills you. Yet there's still waterways and swimming pools everywhere. They're aquatic creatures in the first place. The issue is that the water dilutes your paint, so you can't play anymore. I'm pretty sure the official law is water is lethal to inklings and octolings in large amounts. So rain is fine, but jumping in a pool is no go. And isn't it supposedly after an apocalypse? It's after a global warming apocalypse. Yes, there are parts of the game that suggest or state all of the following. 1. Global warming catastrophe. 2. Rising sea levels. 3. Extinction of humanity after a failed attempt at an exodus with a space ark. 4. Evolution of sea creatures to repopulate the planet. 5. Civil wars amongst the now evolved sea species. Growing up I always wanted to live in the Pokemon world. Pokemon Gold and Silver would give me the greatest options for travel, plus the evil team isn't trying to destroy the world or anything, which is a plus. Nice. Which Pokemon would you have to be the one that was kept outside their Pokeball? Snorlax dude. Obviously. On my shoulder. This guy lifts. Wii sports. Because I don't want to die some gruesome death. I just wanna live popping off dingers and bowling turkeys the rest of my sweet looking avatar life. Getting your ass beaten by that boxing legend is worse than dying. Matt, we don't speak that name here. We try not to trigger anyone's PTSD. We try to forget. RuneScape. Lots to do, and I saw a post that estimated the map to be a bit bigger than the size of Singapore. So plenty of time to wander around killing cows and mining shit. You can do those things in Singapore too. I'm from Singapore, and I mine cows and kill ship. Gary's mod. Basically I can do everything I want. Dark RP would be a trip though. Yes. Nothing would be more fun than randomly getting killed by a guy who looks like an adult, but has a child's voice. Leisure Suit Larry. Plot twist. You're one of the characters that Larry is pursuing, and he won't stop until he gets what he's after. As long as you're not the end girl, something will always happen to keep sex from happening. Larry failed more than he got lucky. I liked the weird girl who loved her teddy bear. Larry strapped a dildo to the bear and she fucked it with the lights off. Lights come on during, and she's like Mr. Buttons. NOOOO. Apostrophe. Before you guys decide, keep in mind that you're not necessarily the protagonist. Imagine you're an NPC. Skyrim would be a king nightmare if you're not the Dragonborn or a Geralt. Even an NPC could always elect to become an adventurer, so they would end up just like the Dragonborn without shouts. The game is definitely playable without using shouts at all, so you could probably do pretty well if you knew what you were doing. You might even be able to learn how to shout if you put your mind to it. Ulfric wasn't Dragonborn and he could shout, just couldn't absorb dragon souls to learn them instantly. But then you would live in a freezing, war-torn nation dealing with dragon attacks. Plus you don't get to pause and bring up the menu, so I wonder how much you could actually carry. Also you'll inevitably take an arrow to the knee. I'm the person who keeps Alchemist's shack stocked. I was gonna say, we could make a good living as a peaceful alchemist. Seems like alchemy would be one of the most dangerous professions in all of Skyrim. It would require you to navigate the countryside where bears, tigers, trolls, packs of wolves, spriggans, witches, fire mages, ice mages, groups of bandits, cultists, possibly annoyed giants, dragons, obviously, vampires, ice wraiths, necromancers, and whatever else I'm forgetting is pretty much every 100 yards away at any given moment. The safest and best commoner job would be chopping wood at Beletha's shop and hitting up the inn every night, stumbling home afterward. Pokemon. Just traveling about catching Pokemon is a dream. Everyone is just so friendly. Too. Like hey, thanks for listening to me talk for 3 seconds. Take this valuable TM. You walk into a store, and the TMs cost 10,000 plus yen. 100 yen equals $1. But this random dude is just like, HUAAAA. I like smashing rocks. Here's Rock Smash, so you can smash rocks too. Apostrophe. What an amazing world to live in. But at the same time there are super powerful gangs chasing unaccompanied 10-year-olds all over the place. Makes you glad for all the harmless kind weirdos. Super powerful gangs. If the story of every Pokemon game told us one thing, it's that they're so weak that even a 10-year-old can take care of them. Breath of the Wild. Even if it was just the Zora domain, one of the most chill places I've seen in a game. Water slides, monsters, adventuring, magical weapons, and elf-eared girls. Sign me up. Ominously underpopulated even for a video game though. Well, a lot of people die when 6-legged laser shooting spider robots go on a killing rampage. Yay, there aren't a whole lot of safe places to hang out in post-apocalyptic Hyrule. A few tiny towns and a dozen stables. I love how there are almost as many people living at stables as some towns. Alright, UTF wished for Plague Incorporated. U/Zortix. U/Zortix. Y'all are some snitches. Let's TP his house. Oh, wait. Definitely not Minesweeper. Back in the army I got sent to Minesweeper training. Straining my ears to hear the faintest little whine did not instill great faith in the equipment. What I got out, if it is, that using a Minesweeper is a lot like taking a hearing test, but if you get it wrong you get blown up. Fuck that. Duck means duck many fields. Duck sweepers. S. I want no part in any of it. T. Why do they not put a log level lamp so magnetism over a certain level makes a loud, clear sound like a metal detector? I would say Witcher 3, but am be afraid of being a side character that fucking dies all the time. I was gonna say Witcher 3, especially Tau Saint, but only if I can be a sorceress, Witcher or higher vampire or something. Not one of those piss poor villagers that dies by a drown or attack. Tau Saint just seems like a lovely place to live even with all the things that want to kill you. I'd also love to meet Regis. Duck them centipedes though. Dead or alive, extreme beach volleyball. They made it so that it could be played one-handed too. Carrot. I'm actually serious. They really did. Close bracket. Edit. The collector's edition came with a bandana to wipe off all that sweat. Carrot. Again. Not kidding. Close bracket. Did it come with a kinkum rag? That is a cum rag. And it's not the worst one. When I worked at Anib Games, there was a special edition of a game called Senran Kagura, Peach Beach Splash. It came with a screen wiping cloth in the form of a small pair of underwear. I'm still disgusted. I thought coronavirus news was going to be the most distressing thing I read today. Animal Crossing because it's fun and nice and peaceful. Not to mention interest-free loans with no deadline to pay it back by. And you got your own little video games to play, so it's that much better. And your elderly neighbors don't all hate you because you're the only millennial homeowner on the street. No joke. I had an elderly neighbor come up to me totally at random while I was out walking the street and start complaining about the young person who just moved in and how now all their peace and quiet was going to be ruined and how all the young people were going to start taking over. I was said young person. I had one trimmer bush in my front yard covering my front window while I was at work. Now they can see inside my single-story house from their second floor window. I must be up to no good because I'm under 90 and not living in a slum. Stardew Valley. Just Jim, my chill farm and super friendly townsfolk. I'm happy. Try walking around distributing pine cones. Not everyone is super friendly. /r/Stardew Valley or Canada. Damn. Really hope that was real. Be the change you want to see in the world. Chrono Trigger. Time travel. Magic. A robot buddy. And a badass chick friend with a tail. I can get away without speaking at all too. Perfect. Did Ayla acutely have a tail, or was that just one she tied on as a part of the whole cave woman thing? Animal Crossing. No doubt. It would be so easy to make money and pay my debts. Life would be chill. Escape to nature. Easy. Minecraft. I can build ship and am with friends. Who needs friends when you can breed an unstoppable army of 800 dogs? Who needs dogs when you can literally trap/torture 4 poor villagers to create an infinite supply of iron golems? Or do what my group did and wash them into a lava block to create an iron ingot factory that's entirely automated. Wait, I don't know about the infinite iron golem. Can you explain? When villagers get scared by a mob they will spawn an iron golem to protect them. You can use this to make an iron farm. Basically by constantly scaring the villagers spawning lots of iron golems. Tango Tech and Mumbo Jumbo have some videos about it on YouTube. GTA 5 and only because it's almost like real life but better. And it's pretty cheap to be revived after crashing a fighter jet into a bridge. The cops even seem to forget your past crimes after one of these miracle resurrections. Cops, I've never met this man in my life. I don't even know who you are. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Who wouldn't want to live in Star Wars universe? Who wouldn't? Probably people on Alderaan, or Terrace, or Apatris, or Kata, or Uzan, or Ambria, or Ossus, or Tellus, or Bice, or if you get infested with a brain worm, or if you get dragged away by a Krykna spider, or if you fall into a sarlacc, or if you get your soul absorbed by a leviathan, or if your name is Bevel Lemelisk, or if you look out at hyperspace too long and go crazy from hyperapture, or if you get stuck forever in a dimension called Other space, or people that have encountered a Belith, or people infected by Operation Blackwing, or people that have encountered Starwids, or people that have been tortured endlessly by them Gal and Gal. Star Wars is an absolute nightmare, and that's before the US and Van show up. Enjoy being flayed alive as a sacrifice to the true gods. Detroit, become human but after the androids are accepted into society ending. Always thought it would be cool to have a robot friend lol. I wish I got that ending. Literally all you have to do is not hurt anyone and don't do anything that the humans don't like. You can even upset the humans a little and still end up just fine, so long as isn't the only survivor. Minecraft. Theoretically an infinite amount of things to do. Minecraft with mods. Minecraft in the very last version would be ducking cool and a blast. Imagine some 256 chunks renderization on that block world. I think you can get 64 chunks right now with Optifine Link, Net, and a beefy PC. EVE Online. Without a doubt. Nigh on immortal character that can fly spaceships with their mind. Are respawned when killed through clones. And learn new things by injecting them into their head. It would be a trip. Really, if I were in the EVE universe as it exists via the game. It seems like the sensible thing to do is to just stay in safe space and mine for 1,000 years saving up money. I'd just spend that whole time reading and playing games. After long enough I could afford to buy an entire star system of my choice and outfit it with enough defenses to make it nearly impossible for someone to invade. Edit. Spelling. After long enough I could afford to buy an entire star system of my choice and outfit it with enough defenses to make it nearly impossible for someone to invade. Bob tried this before goons showed up. Then goons showed up. Didn't end well for goons either. I miss nullsec mining in deep safe alliance space with virtually zero chance of anyone thinking of coming in ganking. Doom. Unless you're the Slayer you are absolutely fucked. Personally you'd follow the Slayer around jamming out to the metal. But you'd probably get sniped by an imp or blown up by a lost soul. I think they'd go for the Slayer first and if not, a pretty badass way to die. I mean, if you just strip some armor from one of the left behind Praetorials and then grab a gun. You let Doom Guy take point and just sit back and cover the rear while he kills bosses and most of the demons. If not all of them for the upgrades he gets. Eventually, Doom Guy slays all the demons and then it's just normal life. Edit. Assuming you don't get killed by some cutscene event that involves some crazy explosion he survives. Or some capture and escape thing. I guess if you keep a distance, you can always just follow the chaos in his wake and help him when you can. Subnautica. I've spent over 300 hours playing that stunningly beautiful game. Mostly just exploring and building. I still don't want to leave. All alone on a gorgeous ocean world with abundant resources and nobody else around to bother me. Sign me the duck up. Hell. That sounds like hell. I don't understand how anyone can play this game and find it chill. It's taken me months to get to the blood kelp area. And I have to scurry back to safety after a few minutes. Essentially when I feel a panic attack coming on. Subnautica is the most intense and terrifying game I have ever played by a considerable margin. I love it. But actually trying to survive there in real life and not being able to turn it off would be horrible. Oh yes. This was me at first as well. Hearing a stalker's roar and hauling ass back to the life pod to cower in fear until morning. But after so many hours playing, you eventually develop a feel for how every creature behaves. The fear subsides and you learn to live with them. It's really not that bad once you have a ton of experience. And of course tech. Never mind the stalkers. The first time you find those little exploding buggers in caves at the start makes you jump. Crash fish are a nuisance. Warpers can fuck right off. Warpers are just jump scares and I hate it every time. Red Dead Redemption 2. I want to be a cowboy on the open range. I'd have said Red Dead 2, but my black ass would probably not have a good time during that time period. You could become the sheriff of a racist town and win them over through a series of comedic hijinks that make them realize that racism is stupid. Where the white women at? Apostrophe. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.